Hello everyone and welcome again, and today I'm going to go into the rainbow body. What is the rainbow light body? Well, the rainbow light body is described in Tibet with the monks and masters there as what we could say is the purest form and highest form of ascension. It's connecting with the light body, dissolving the physical. This can happen from a natural death after one has done many years work. Sometimes the physical body can dissolve, leaving hair or nails from the hands. And they see a lot of rainbow phenomena around the people that attain this. And apparently there's around 160,000 documented cases of this. So I'm going to delve into this today, and again, it's just food for thought. You do with it what you may. Now, I've got 4 books here that I've read into researching with this over the years. Now, one's called Dream Yoga, and that is by Namkai Norbu. There's another one here by Namkai Norbu as well, called Rainbow Body. There's one here called Rainbow Painting, and that's by Tulku Urgyen Rinpoche. And also there's one here called Rainbow Body and Resurrection, and that's by Francis V. Tizzo. I'll be going into referencing some of this material. And again, I just want people to do their own research with this. Before I go any further as well, I've got to say that David Wilcock and William Henry have both done amazing work with bringing this subject to the public. And I'm really standing on the shoulders of giants there, which they're standing on the shoulders of other giants, which are the Tibetan masters. So I've got to give a shout out there, because a lot of this material is replicated out there by others because there's just not a heap out there, but I want to bring my own perspective in with this. Going into the rainbow body, and what comes up over and over is the word Dzogchen, which means total perfection, and is a teaching that reveals the original state of every individual, a condition that is considered as perfect because of its infinite potentiality to manifest a variety of all phenomena of existence. This perfection, once it has been directly introduced by the master, is experienced as one's innermost nature. Continues awareness of this nature then is fundamental practice that leads to the unveiling or manifestation of one's primordial potentiality. The rainbow body into the transmutation of the physical constituents of the body into the essence of the 5 elements of which it is comprised, the 5 lights, the colours of the rainbow. Thus, an immaterial body, invisible to the physical eye, continues to exist, actively working for the benefit of all sentient beings. The essence of Dzogchen practice is also known as Gurai Yoga, or union with the master, because the Saturn which one's master lives and that is transmitted to the student is the same authentic condition of primordial potentiality. Therefore, the master in Dzogchen is the very embodiment of the expression of one's ultimate nature. Union with the master means tie, abide in this authentic condition. Now, some of the rainbow body practices, exercises, there's different ways that many of the, we could say, people practicing this are going about it. But it seems to be a mixture of different things. It could be Qigong, yoga, Tai Chi, sun gazing, mantras, grounding along with meditation, plus many different forms of tantric exercises. They also meditate on the R symbol or A symbol, depending on how one looks at it. So they're doing visualization exercises. They are meditating in caves in darkness, which is very beneficial. I haven't done it in a cave, but in dark rooms for days on end, as well as 10 days, multiple times now. There's also, we could say, the tantric exercises are very big for them as well. So there's different layers of practices that are going on. They're not just sitting there meditating. They're going through multiple different types of practices to attain the rainbow body, or what I say is reconnect with the rainbow light body. But mostly we find that it's a combination of meditation, mantras, tantric exercises and learning, being guided by teachers, guides in the Tibetan culture. And this was a very secretive thing and very secretive practices to attain the rainbow light body for many years. And in later years, it started to be exposed more and more. So in this book here, Rainbow Painting, it is basically written by Tulku that being in a blissful state always is not the way to attain a rainbow body. You could end up in a fake realm. Very important information here. Going on from there, strong emotion can be a trigger for Zogen, and at times, from the drive you have, you can go into nirvana. So it's something where if we were just in a blissful state, there's sort of nothing that's pushing us to rise to the occasion to better ourselves. And this is where I say even the manipulative and negative energies, there's a catch-22. Yes, they're an aspect of source as well, but when negative things are happening, if one goes in, they can rise themselves above it and be the better person in some cases, or see opportunity in that negative thing happening, which in effect raises their consciousness. And it's a similar thing with this. So possibly being in the moment or reflecting on the past can be a trigger to go into an advanced state of consciousness. So whether it's traumas, wrong conclusions, judgments, once one can not only just be the observer, but the witness of that and go into a high state of consciousness like I talk about, which is the mind behind the mind, which is God's mind, this is really an avenue and a key to reaching Rainbow Body. It is also said that the universe only exists if having karma, as it keeps you in the physical universe. Once dropped, you can reconnect with awareness, cosmic mind. Now, like I was saying, some Tibetan practices, they do cave retreats, the A-symbol meditations, and types of prayers, mantras, and tantric practices. Mainly these practices are very secretive, but it's being exposed. So just keep that in mind. We're sort of finding out more and more and more, but nothing guides you better than going within and connecting to the higher self, a cell of source. And that's where learning many different practices and techniques, you'll use them for a period, drop them off, or come back to them, but it's working with what intuitively you feel with, because that's the higher self guiding you. That's key here. So Namkhai Norbu, who was a Tibetan Zogen master, that's him there. And this is his book, Dream Yoga, which I've shown before, and he's no longer with us now from what I know. So Trekcho, awareness that the universe is a mirror. It's a practice and said to be the quickest way to achieve Rigpa, original awakened mind. So that's where everything within is projected outside of yourself, like I've said before, and it's really when we've got problems with other people, situations going on, it's a mirror. So if we can be the observer of that and rise above that, you hit that universal mind that I was speaking about, that awareness, by being the witness. Advanced meditation practices, cutting cords, etc. is involved. There's actually a meditation of that on my website as well. Thus taking you to a state of visualization and contemplation, bringing one to a state of universal consciousness. Part of this is seeing your karma. And what I say is karma in some aspect is an illusionary state, because everything is one consciousness interacting with itself. But there is, at the same time, it's hard to say, it's not like yes or no, there's buts and grey areas here, like I say. But looking at this, what I say is that everything that you do affects everyone and everything. And everything levels out, and there's lessons within that to be learnt. And that is very key to every time there's something going on, whether it's negative or it's not what you expected. Yes, it's about letting go and going with the flow of the universe, but seeing what the lessons are in it. Are you repeating patterns? Are you not? Is it something external, or did you give too much trust or faith in a situation? There's much to analyse here when you're on the self-mastery journey. So getting rid of anything obstructing you seeing the truth, that is one of the keys. Forgive and let go. Then the illusion dissolves, taking you to a samadhi state, thus bringing you to the next state of self-realisation of being all that is, not observing it, but reconnecting and being it. Shifting to universal awareness, taking on the rainbow body. These are processes within, we could say, going through the process and practices of the inner work and development of becoming your own master through self-mastery, to where you can be of service to others and source itself. And here's the Tibetan A symbol. This is what they meditate on. And what they're doing is they're visualizing this, and they do that with dream yoga as well, which is a practice where they visualize this symbol as they're going to sleep, and they don't really get to sleep in a way they do, but it's more of a lucid sleep. And then they're, what we could say, is awakening in a dream state, to where over a process of catching yourself in that dream state each time, you start to turn, manipulate things, walk around, start to be, what I say is operating in a conscious state within the dream state. And then again, on the awakening state, part of the practice is visualizing that symbol, before fully coming back, opening your eyes and getting into your day. So this is one of the practices as well that they're doing there. And everything comes down to self-mastery with this, really. And it's, again, for those that want to do it, that, you know, again, what I say is take this very serious, because there's many ramifications when stepping into this journey and going down this path as well. So the abilities on the way to attaining the rainbow body, or like I say, reconnecting, and aka ascension, being able to fly or levitate, bilocate and teleport, manifest objects, living beings, things in the sky, astral travel, psychic abilities, move objects with the mind, telekinesis, just to mention a few. So there's quite a lot that starts to unfold, and we're going to see this online with humanity in little baby steps as we're going through an ascension as a collective. But like I say, there's individual paths with ascension as well, that everyone's going to go through it in their own way, but the collective does somewhat in its own way as well. And this is part of a process like I've mentioned in other videos. Just a few examples of rainbow body cases. Padmasambhava, very well known. What I would say is the second Buddha in some aspects, and that's how he's known as well. Now, Padmasambhava, legendary Indian Buddhist mystic who introduced Tantric Buddhism to Tibet and who is credited with establishing the first Buddhist monastery there. And is also apparently the first person recorded to attain the rainbow body. Also, it is said that he may have been in India for 1,000 years before going to Tibet. He was in front of many people when turning into light, attaining the rainbow body, and eventually all 25 of his disciples attained the rainbow body too. And there's different stories of him coming to Earth. One is in a lotus, one is in an egg, that he wasn't born here, he just appeared here. Some say he's an extraterrestrial. And that sort of goes back, what I'll say is, if we look at the egg, I've filmed stuff like that before, as you can see here. But also in the translated word of Buddha, it talks about pearls in the sky where Tibetan gods come to visit man. So there's a bit extra food of thought for there. I'll just add to the Padmasambhava story. Now, this is said to have been done by Padmasambhava himself, manipulating matter. So footprint in rock. This is apparently in Nepal. Here's another one of his footprint. And here's a handprint. Now, some say that he was not only an extraterrestrial, but also had 6 fingers, which some of these beings do have. So, again, food for thought. Do with it what you may. But this is apparently a handprint he was able to put into rock, to where, as you're attaining these abilities, you're able to manipulate matter in such a way. Padmasambhava is also known as Guru Rinpoche as well. Now, here's a handprint by Guru Nanak. This is another Tibetan master that was able to do similar things to Padmasambhava. And here's Lama Karma Rinpoche. Apparently in 2013 he attained rainbow body, and one of the byproducts is that the body shrinks as they're going into the rainbow light body status. So apparently he went from 5'9", 175 centimeters, 2 weeks later he shrunk to 20 centimeters. He also had the ability to leave footprints in stone as well, just like we're seeing with Padmasambhava. Now, this is Lama Achuk. Apparently he could manifest objects and images out of thin air, statues, mandalas and deities in front or above his body, for an example. He could go underwater for days, could leave footprints and handprints in stone, was highly psychic and tapped into the present, future and past. And 1998, the rainbow body attainment by Khenpo Achu. Khenpo Achu attained the rainbow body on a hillside above Lamarap in September 1998. Apart from reports in the regional press, this was subject of an article, The Rainbow Body, in Institute of Noetic Science Review 59. It was also mentioned by Matthew T. Capstein in The Presence of Light, Divine Radiance and Religious Experience. So this is from Tolkut Pema Rigstal. Recently on August 29, 1998 in Azirong in Tibet, Khenpo Achu, 80 years of age, attained physical dissolution. One day at noon, lying in bed without having suffered any recent illness, while in the posture of a sleeping lion, and that's where I believe they sleep on the right hand side. They've got a certain way that they sleep, and that's in the practices as well. And I'll go on now. While in the posture of a sleeping lion and reciting the 6-syllable mantra, he attained Buddha in the primordial basic matrix of alpha purity, his heart of clear light reality perfected beyond the intellect. As his body dissolved into light, his wrinkles vanishing, he seemed like an 8-year-old child with a beautiful complexion. After a week had passed, when people came to know of his death, they performed his death puja secretly in order to deceive the authorities, and at that time rainbows appeared inside and outside, and a pleasant aroma pervaded the place. His body gradually diminished in size, and at the end he attained Buddha. Not even his nails and hair were left behind. It was just like a bird flying from a rock. People nearby have no idea where it might have gone. So with the rainbow body attainment, there's phenomena such as nails and hair being left, shrinkage of the body, and rainbows appearing where the attainment took place. Now, Todjin Rinpoche, light body activation, I believe in 1962. The story was that at the time with the practices he was doing, he would be condemned, so they took him from a palace to a barn to hide him. After some time, when people went to check in on him and saw his sheepskin robe, looked inside and saw him sitting there with his body the size of a 3 or 4-year-old. So again, rainbow body was attained, the body started to shrink. Later it is said police and the area's officials came to check out what had happened, and there were only nails and hair left in the sheepskin. So by that time, the body was completely gone, not just shrunk, it was gone. And the full story is in Rainbow Body. And these books are pretty amazing. They can be deep for a lot of people. The in-depthness with it and the stories and what you can learn from it, I think is very beneficial. So it's just a recommendation there. So there's a lot to the Rainbow Body, to where this is Ascension from another perspective of the same thing from a different culture. And I think it should be really taken on board. To add to this, going to biblical texts is something that I found that I just want to share that can add on to it and maybe describing the same thing, is in Ezekiel. This is a part of the Bible in Ezekiel where he's describing not only seeing the entities with 4 faces, but also with the Lord coming down. And it says this: I looked at him from his waist up. He looked like hot metal with fire all around him. I looked at him from his waist down. It looked like fire with a glow that was shining all around him. The light shining around him was like a rainbow in a cloud. Now, we've talked about in the last episode the cloud being a manifestation of God. Also, the fire being the Merkaba, if that's how one wants to interpret it. And now here we have a description of a rainbow in a cloud. So could the being or God, as it goes into next, be in that state as well, a manifestation that the Godhead of Source has projected a physical form to interact with intelligences within itself? And so it goes on, it was the glory of the Lord. As soon as I saw that, I fell to the ground. I bowed with my face to the ground, and then I heard a voice speaking to me. So we do have a depiction of a rainbow type phenomena that's said to be the Lord or God in this case here. And again, all I'm trying to do is to bring some different bits of knowledge together to elaborate and expand on topics that are already out there in my own way. That's all I'm trying to do. So the rainbow body is a part of Ascension. Are they describing the Merkaba, but they've got a different way that they're describing it? I think they're pretty much entwined and one of the same in some aspects. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for joining me, beautiful beings, and I hope this has been beneficial. Blessings.